Between May 2021 and May 2022, prices in the U.S. have risen by 8.6%. The cost of everything, from gas to groceries to even childcare, has skyrocketed in recent months. With inflation rising at its fastest pace in 40 years, millions of Americans are on the lookout for ways to stretch each paycheck. One strategy is to participate in a gift economy. What exactly is a gift economy? It's probably a term you've never heard before. Instead of buying new items, you post what you're looking for and see if someone nearby already owns it. Chances are there's a person a mile or two from you who has the object in question and no longer needs it. Rather than throwing it away or donating it to Goodwill or Savers, they give you the item as a gift. No money exchanged, no barter in return. In recent years, millions of people around the world have discovered this alternative economy.
The benefit of doing this hyperlocally is you really get to know your neighbors. And that was kind of the backdoor intention of us starting gift economies. They're circular economies, but they also, while we're sharing our goods and services, we actually come to get to know the people who live around us, because it's a sort of a natural way of kind of connecting through the items that we're sharing and through the stories behind those items.
That's Liesl Clark, co-founder, along with her neighbor Rebecca Rockefeller, of the Buy Nothing Project. Clark learned about gift economies firsthand while spending time with her husband and children in the High Himalayas of Nepal.
There are villages in the High Himalaya where there are no stores within perhaps a day or two of walking distance. So money is no good in these villages. And I've spent a lot of time living there with my family and really came to understand the mechanics of a gift economy where there really is no need for money, but a whole village of people are taking care of each other through the goods and services that they can share, precisely because there is no need for exchanging money.
Clark was impressed by how the Nepalese wasted nothing. Back home on Bainbridge Island in Washington, she was saddened to see much of the opposite. In front of her, there were many discarded household items and plastics from landfills washed up on nearby beaches. Motivated to replicate the system in Nepal, she asked her neighbors to participate in a short social experiment. Instead of going out and buying something new, they would rely on each other for the items they needed. By the end of the test, it proved to be a success, and everyone involved felt closer.
In essence, money can serve to separate us rather than connect us. If we're buying things, we tend to not actually know who made them, where they came from, or perhaps even the stories behind those items. If you're receiving a gift from a neighbor instead, and it's the very item that you may have gone to a store that very day to buy, imagine that feeling of connection you have with your neighbor as a result. It really binds us together and connects us, and we learn a lot about each other when we're sharing in this way.
Today, this concept has expanded to the online Buy Nothing project, which continues to grow week after week.
On Facebook, we have more than 7,000 individual hyperlocal gift economies around the world in 44 nations with about 6 million participants. And on the Buy Nothing app, there are 363,000 downloads of the app we just launched it 5 months ago. So it's growing by about 1,000 new participants a day, and many small hyperlocal gift economies within the app as well.
Maggie McMeakin is a longtime member and now administrator of the Facebook Buy Nothing group in Arlington Heights, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. She got involved with the group during a cleaning purge, a la the Marie Kondo method. During this period, she ended up with piles of stuff she no longer needed, but wanted to find a second home for.
So I just began to give things away. And of course, not long after joining the group, I started to notice things that I would have liked to have. And so I started to also receive from my community. For example, I'm not far from a lamp that I received from Buy Nothing, and it just completely transformed the corner of my living room. I love it so much. And as soon as I saw it, it was just perfect for my room. And I'm so glad that they selected me. So it's just like getting a gift, a little surprise gift, really. It's a wonderful feeling.
Want to check it out for yourself? The way the Buy Nothing system works is after you join the group in your area, either through Facebook or the Buy Nothing app, you can either post an item you want to give away, or you can make a request for something you're looking for. If several people show interest in an item that's being given away, it's up to the owner to decide who gets it.
For example, some people will post and they have a time frame when they want the item to be taken. So they might decide whoever's first available or whoever's available this Sunday, afternoon to come and remove. That might be the way that they decide. Some people might just pick at random. I know some of our members even use a app of some sort to select a number at random, or they put numbers down and then draw at random from a hat based on the commenters in order. Sometimes someone will just select arbitrarily.
And there's no point tracking or policy that says in order to receive you must give first, or even give it all. McMeakin says these rules allow everyone to partake in the Hyperlocal System.
I do know that we do have members that are more likely to seek items or to request to receive items rather than gift, or they've never posted to gift anything. Not everybody is privileged to have items to give away. That is something that is why this community is helpful to begin with. We sometimes have people that are in need. I know that recently we've had refugees from Ukraine that were recipients of gifts locally. Certainly would hope that if they were fortunate enough in the future to be able to gift items, that they would, but there's no requirement that you have to be actively giving things away within the community.
McMeakin likes getting to know the people in her area and appreciates that she and her neighbors are keeping items out of the landfill. Clark says the Buy Nothing app will soon include metrics that keep track of the greenhouse gas emissions each participant has saved by giving items a second life.
Just about everything has value, has a place. And I would posit that that place doesn't necessarily have to be the landfill. I mean, I've given away sticks that have blown down from my property, even lint. I'm sure you've heard that. The media has sort of picked up on that lint from your dryer that people might think, oh, of course, that's going in my trash, but someone else might want it as hamster bedding or to make fire starters. Or if there's just wax scraps from your candles. I've collected lots of every year around the holidays. I collect people's wax scraps, and I love all the different colors and the different sizes of chunks because I melt them down, or I use the chunks and I make candles and I give them away. So it's a lovely way of reusing and repurposing something. And I'm a big believer in the circular economy. And the longer that we can keep our material goods, our material culture circulating within our own communities, I believe the more resilient we can become.
It's so easy these days to go online and make an impulse purchase, only to receive it days later and wonder, what was I thinking? McMeakin loves how she and her neighbors are creating less waste and more connection within their suburban community. If you're interested in participating but don't have a Buy Nothing group in your area, it's easy to start one. You can find out how by visiting our website at viewpointsradio.org, where you'll also learn more about our guests, Liesl Clark and Maggie McMeakin, as well as all of our past guests. For more behind the scenes, search Viewpoints Radio on Twitter and Facebook. This segment was written and produced by Polly Hansen. Our executive producer is Amira Zaveri. Our studio engineer is Jason Dickey. I'm Marty Peterson. Coming up next week.
You can tell where the village ends and the resort starts because that's where you start to see palm trees.
Understanding the fallout from fast expanding beach resorts. Then,
is it fruity or is it something else first? I think that does an enormous amount for grounding you in what to expect from the wine.
Diving into the study of wine, a beverage that dates back to 6000 BC. I'm Marty Peterson.
And I'm Gary Price. These stories in depth on your public affairs magazine, Viewpoints.
And that's Viewpoints for this week. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to learn more about upcoming shows and find a library of past programs on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Spotify. Plus, you'll always find previous segments and more information about our guests at viewpointsradio.org. Join us again next week for another edition of Viewpoints.